I want to turn to another subject. One of the things Joe Biden is going to need to confront relates to one of the darkest chapters of the Trump presidency, and we have some exclusive new reporting on that front. NBC News is reporting that lawyers working to reunite families under the Trump administration's child separation policy cannot find the parents of some 666 migrant children separated from their parents at the border. That is more children than we previously were told by the government, whose parents have not been located. Let's bring into this my colleague, NBC's Jacob Soboroff. Jacob, tell me what you're learning today.
Hey, Nicole. So last month, of course, we brought to everyone the news from a court filing that the lawyers searching for parents of separated children could not find 545 parents associated with children separated by the Trump administration. It turns out that number is actually far greater than we had initially thought. You just said it, 666 children whose parents were taken from them. They are unable to locate the parents of those children. And on top of that, according to a source familiar with this data, 1/3 of those children at the time of their separation were, and it's almost hard to say, babies and toddlers, preschoolers at that time, under 5 years old. And again, we have talked about this at this point throughout the duration of the Trump administration for the last 3 years. Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, Health and Human Services. There were career officials in all these departments that warned their Trump-appointed superiors that this was going to be the exact scenario we would find ourselves in. And today, again, we find out it is even worse than we previously thought.
Wait, so 230 of the separated children were babies and toddlers. Where are they right now?
We don't know for sure. I mean, they're with either sponsors inside the interior of the country, which are family members or people who have brought them in through a process with the Office of Refugee Resettlement. They were taken in once they were brought into that department after the separation. But those parents may have been deported. They may be here in the interior of the country and not able to be located by the federal government. But that number continues to expand as the lawyers searching for these kids. And there's been plenty of great reporting on the ground in Central America that have been literally looking door to door. The lawyers simply cannot find them. And so this data has been handed over. And as they have gone through the data, what's new about this is that the number continues to grow as they search through it. And again, for the first time, we're learning that 1/3 of those kids were preschoolers at the time that they were taken from their parents by the Trump administration. And I should say, Nicole, President-elect Biden has said one of his first acts as the president of the United States will be to set up a task force to reunite these children. And we're waiting for word from the president-elect's transition team about how they would handle this exact scenario.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.